Facebook and Zoom if you're ready, so let's begin our service. If you wish to follow along with the service, you can scan the QR code on the screen or go to riverofgrassuu.org/2023 OOSTO. Find the order of service there.
Has a part for you. Sounds like this. Reasons for the season. Reasons for the season. Reasons for the season. Reasons for the season. Solstice, Saturnalia, Christmas, Hanukkah, Panchamalakati, Bodhi Day, Yule, Laundromat, Shabanada, Kwanzaa, Sol Invictus, Dom, Shisoy. Come the light every new December. The light comes among the people that we might remember. Reasons for the season. Reasons for the season. Reasons for the season. Reasons for the season. Saints come hither, gods and goddesses, Basil, Nicholas, Lucia, Saturn, Amaterasu, Giant Ganesha, Old Dan, Spider-Woman, Old Ra, new day born of long, cold night, raised in celebration. Bring the coming of the light to the soul of every nation. Reasons for the season. Reasons for the season. Reasons for the season. Reasons for the season. La Befana flies the night, Santa Claus his sleigh. Emmanuel beneath star bright, and Israel's lamps aflame. Tapers lit for all to see, voices blend in blessed be. Winter yields to coming spring, and faith is kept forever green. Reasons for the season. 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 Reasons for the season.
Good morning. Welcome to the beloved community at River of Grass Unitarian Universalist Congregation, both here in person and for all of you who are with us via Zoom and Facebook Live this morning. We celebrate all the ways we find to gather our beloved community in body and in spirit as we go and grow and flow the River Way. My name is Leanna Bresnahan, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. For all of you who are here in this room this morning, it's so wonderful to see your faces. And for those of you who have joined us on Zoom or Facebook Live, we're so happy you're here as well. However you made your way among us this morning, you are welcome. So let's take a moment now to gather together into this time and to connect with one another again.
We begin with this piece from the poet and professor of Colorado Springs College, Amanda Udis-Hester. We light the Hanukkah candles in wonder, joy, and gratitude, each candle a miracle. We rededicate ourselves to the miracle of light in a season of darkness, to the miracle of trust in a time of anxiety, to the miracle of hope in a time of despair, to the miracle of faith in a time of cynicism. We rededicate ourselves to the miracle of wholeness in a time of fracture, to the miracle of courage in a time of fear, to the miracle of resistance in a time of oppression, to the miracle of peace in a time of violence. And in a time of hatred, we rededicate ourselves to the miracle of love. We open our hearts this morning with delight as our River of Grass Choir brings our theme home for this theme hymn. You can hum, it's okay. Our theme hymn for this month, Joy Thou Goddess. Came back and the choir just exploded. That's wonderful.
The flaming chalice is a symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, a beacon of religious liberty shining through generations and now ours to hold high. As we light our chalice together this morning, let us join our voices with these words. We light this chalice for the love that holds us, for the light that leads us, for the hope that calls us on. And in the light of love, let us renew our covenant as we say together. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de esta congregación y el servicio es su ley principal. Esta es nuestra gran promesa, vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad a través del amor y ayudarnos mutuamente.
In keeping with the traditions of Hanukkah, a classic hymn. Ma'oz tzur Yeshuati, Chamna el Shabeach, Tikon betefilati, V'sham toda Zabeach, Le'tahin matbeach, Mitzar hamnabeach, Azegmor b'shir mizmor, Chanukah hamizbeach. Rock of ages, let our song praise thy saving power. Thou amidst the raging foes was our sheltering tower. Furious they assailed us, but thine arm availed us, and thy word broke their sword when our own strength failed us. Amen.
In our community each week, we share pieces of our lives. We take a moment to share our joys, our sorrows, our gratitudes, here with the people who love us for exactly who we are and where we are right now. So here in this room, you can share in this book and write your thoughts in this book. And if you're on Zoom, you may write into the chat at this moment. We'll give you a little time to be able to enter your joys, your sorrows, and your concerns right now.
Now in the quiet of this hour, if there's something on your heart that you would like to mark this morning that was not put in the book, or that you wish to keep with your heart and between yourself and your family and the holy, by whatever name you call that, we offer this moment where we can bring into community silent prayers and thoughts and reflections for those things that are on our heart, both those things that are burdens and those things that are joys that we celebrate. So in this moment, please come up and take a stone and place it in the water of reflection as we share in this moment together. Return source of all, called by many names, none of which we can fully know nor understand. We bring these things written and unwritten, spoken and unspoken. We ask that our hearts be seen even as we become seers of hearts. We bring into the power of community those things which we carry in the day to day. For here we know our burdens shared are lifted, and our joys shared are multiplied. We come this morning mindful of the trouble in the world. We also come mindful that the human spirit is resilient and that the spirit at work in the world is also here, and that it is ours to bring about the fruits of peace and joy and love here and now in our time. Let us listen to the ancients of old who also grappled with these same troubles, and may we carry forward the cause of justice. May we be ever more compassionate and kind. May we recognize the goodness in this world and shine our light upon it. All these things we lift in the name of all that is holy. Amen, amen, amin, aho, ashe, namaste, blessed be. And so it is. A few of my molecules are still coming in over the Atlantic Ocean. Let us sing our prayer together as we close this time of reflection. From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill on earth be sung through every land by every tongue. In the first years that the Reverend Marty Keller took to her first Unitarian Universalist pulpit, there weren't all that many Jewish UU women preaching. In her book, Jewish Voices in Unitarian Universalism, Reverend Keller says, throughout the history of Unitarian Universalism, Jewish heritage, culture, and people have been a consistent presence. Giving voice to this community's lived experiences is an act of confident construction. To strengthen UU Judaism, Unitarian Universalism, Judaism, and multi-religious engagement by contributing from our own struggles and our wisdom. In her sermon, Our December Dilemma, the Reverend Keller said, our December dilemma is that while we do the holiday piece well, in a respectful Christian and Jewish or even the Chrismukkah kind of way, we need to be more intentional, more thoughtful about the holy day part. Not just for our interfaith families, but for all of us. This is our heritage. This morning we find our hope in Jacqueline Cotman. Let us meet her in this season as a music educator in Appleton, Wisconsin, where she attends Fox Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. In her essay entitled Embracing and, from the Skinner House book, Jewish Voices in Unitarian Universalism, she shares her journey of religious pluralism in Unitarian Universalism, raised by her Jewish mother and her Christian father growing up in Atlanta, Georgia. While others in her life, schoolmates and neighbors, challenged her faith with questions like, well, what are you? Jewish or something else? She writes, her Sunday school teachers, ministers, mentors, and parents guided her toward a religious and, asking, well, what is it about both Judaism and Unitarian Universalism that speaks to you? You either go to church or you go to temple. She tells the story of one of her first best friends in 4th grade. You go to church or you go to temple. You have to pick one. To which young Yu Jacqueline replied matter-of-factly, "No, I don't. This is our hope." Ushers, we need our offering baskets. Do we know where they are? Black circles.
We have one
We
basket.
have one basket right here. We are river folk. Just move them stones aside. We keep going. Oh yeah.
We sustain and strengthen.
Oh, there's another one.
There's another one. Diane, allow me to put the first offering in. Okay. There we go. We sustain our beloved community and its work in the world through our gifts of love, our skills, our time, and our money. So each Sunday, as you know, half of our undesignated offering goes to support LifeNet for Families, a wonderful organization here in Broward County which provides meals, clothing, and support for those in need. The other half supports our mission and ministry here at River Paras. Ushers, would you please come forward? To receive the offering, or you may also use the link or the QR code that you see on the screen.
Because you know we're all about that nace, no oil. We're all about that nace, no oil. We're all about that nace, no oil. We're all about that nace, nace. Yeah, it's pretty clear. The Maccabees were few, they wouldn't take it. Being told what to do, they wanted freedom that we today embrace, and all the rights to pray in all the right places. The ancient magazines, they put the Greeks on top, oppressed the Jewish state. They had to be stopped, but Maccabees had faith they wouldn't give it up. Our holiday is so much more than spinning plastic tops. Yeah, my mama, she told me it's not about the food you fry. Faith, family, freedom, we celebrate for a night. You know the latkes and dreidels and presents are all good fun. But if that's all you do, then your holiday's just begun. Because you know we're all about that nace, no oil. We're all about that nace, no oil. We're all about that nace, no oil. We're all about that nace, Hey, we took the temple back. One day of oil burned much more than that. And now we celebrate by eating fat. But we're here to tell you that our holiday is so much more than spinning plastic tops. Yeah, my Bobby, she told me it's not about the food you fry. Hey, family, freedom, we celebrate for a night. You know that latkes and dreidels and presents are all good fun. But if that's all you do, then your holiday's just begun. Because you know we're all about that nace, no oil. We're all about that nace, no oil. We're all about that nace, no oil. We're all about that nace, You know we're all about that nace, no oil. We're all about that nace, no oil. We're all about that nace, no oil. We're all about that nace,
Our ushers are dancing. this from the heart, deeply, deeply grateful.
And on that note, today's story is called The Christmas Menorahs, How a Town Fought Hate. Adapted. Today's tale is a true story that happened in Billings, Montana during the winter holidays in 1993. Who was alive in 1993? The story begins on a cold December night where Christmas lights twinkled on many houses, and in some houses, Hanukkah menorahs shone in the windows. Michael's house had a menorah in almost every window. He was just finishing up his homework at the kitchen table when he heard a loud crash come from his bedroom. He and his babysitter ran in to find a large rock had sailed through his window and landed right on his bed. Along the way, it had knocked down the Hanukkah menorah that was standing on his window ledge. Icy air was filling the room. Isaac was frightened. What if he had been in his bed? Why would someone do this? They called for his parents to come home, and once he was in his mother's arms, he felt better. His parents, of course, were also very upset. They spoke with the police, who promised to do all they could to protect them and find the people responsible and make them stop. At first, they didn't want to put their menorah back in the window. Maybe it would be best for them to hide the fact that they were Jewish. But then Michael's parents remembered that they were very proud of their heritage and their faith, and in America, all people are welcome to worship freely. They weren't going to let the bullies scare them into hiding their faith. Turns out, these bullies were a group of young men in their town who didn't like having different people with different faiths and different ideas. They thought they could scare people away by being hateful to them. They had already passed out papers around the town that said mean things about Jewish people, spray-painted threats and insults on a Native American home, and frightened African Americans in their church. These young men were committing crimes, not just crimes of vandalism, but worse. They were committing hate crimes, crimes motivated by hate for certain people and their ideas. In America, there are laws against hate crimes, and people who commit them face serious punishment. When Michael's neighbors heard about what happened, they wanted to support their friends. So many of them, even though they weren't Jewish, put menorahs in their windows too. Churches in town gave out pictures of menorahs to their congregants for their windows. The local newspaper even printed a full-page menorah so that everyone in town could show their support for their neighbors. Do you remember last year when we acted out the story of Hanukkah as our holiday play? Some of you were Maccabees fighting to return to the temple that was taken from them by Antiochus and the Syrians. When they were successful, they tried to relight the sacred lamp, but the small jar of oil they found only had enough for one night. But miraculously, mysteriously, it burned for 8 nights. So the Hanukkah menorah has 8 candles with the Shamash helper candle in the center that does all the lighting. The menorah helps our Jewish friends to remember how their ancestors fought back against hate and experienced something miraculous. I wonder why the people who weren't even Jewish put menorahs in their windows. Oh, so they feel overwhelmed with the amount of menorahs. So every street in Billings had houses with menorahs in the windows. And more rocks were thrown, but much like the Maccabees, the people of Billings didn't back down. Maybe it was their way of siding with love. And that's the best way to conquer hate, isn't it? I wonder how Michael's family felt about the support from their neighbors. I'm sure they felt the love, and it probably made them feel a lot safer. And the young men who threw the rocks, I wonder what they thought about seeing all this support for Michael's family. Maybe like you said, Alessandra, they were a little overwhelmed. And they're doing these hateful things because they're scared. Yeah. It's great insight. Right. Yeah. So, I wonder if maybe, like the Grinch, their hearts grew a little bigger when they realized that they couldn't stop Hanukkah from coming. I bet everyone was a little surprised to see that there was more love in their town than there was hate. Eventually, the haters did give up. And we Unitarian Universalists are committed to siding with love too, aren't we? Matter of fact, one of our proposed value statements reads, "Love is the power that holds us together and is at the heart of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love." Some say that love is at the center of our faith. So at the end of our story, Isaac and his mom took a drive through town, marveling at the many menorahs in the windows. But it was the message in one window that brought tears to his mother's eyes. Along with a beautifully colored menorah was a Jewish star and a Christian cross and the words, "For our friend Isaac, with love from Teresa and the rest of the Hanley family." Michael was so surprised. "She didn't tell me she was going to do this. She never said a word," exclaimed Michael. Michael's mom replied, "You know, honey, hate can make a lot of noise. Love and courage are usually quieter, but in the end, they are the strongest." Do you think love and courage needs to be quiet? With our help, I think it's getting louder all the time. Can you give me some loud love and courage? Woo-hoo! I love you, we support you. Michael was so moved on the last night of Hanukkah, he put a large sign in his family's front window that read, "Happy Hanukkah to everyone in Billings. With love, Isaac." So if you have a menorah at your seat, this is a good time to put them up in the windows. They all have stickies on the back. Find a window.
Let's sing our youngins off to their classes. We love you and bless you and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day. And my batteries are done. I'm going to change them now so we can keep talking throughout this holy hour. See, I really thought that the dead batteries might last the whole hour, like the oil in the lasted the whole 8 days, but no, not this time. All right. Just so you know, all these batteries get disposed of responsibly, and these, believe it or not, okay, here we are, we're back. These are the batteries that were left over when we moved out of our building. And I was committed to using them all up, and the rechargeables are waiting, come into rotation. Menorahs in our windows to tell an ancient story of light shining through dark times and Ensor hängt in our own. It's quite a story. And we do well to remember it in this season of life, this year, every year, this time, when we remember the winter holy days of every tradition, and how they teach of the resilience and courage of the human spirit in the face of oppression, violence, and hatred of every age. For the story of Hanukkah, we go all the way back to the year 167 before the current era, when the Greek king Antiochus Epiphanes, successor to Alexander the Great in that part of the world, demands that the Israelites Hellenize. Now, Hellenize means he was forcing the Israelites to become more like the Greeks, both religiously and culturally, forcing them to give up the Holy Sabbath, to eat pork and other unclean practices, and make sacrifices to Zeus. But the Jews resisted, or most of them, but not all. For as the Reverend Kelly Mueller reminds us that throughout history, those who are able suck up to the overlords, taking their standards of beauty and sophistication from the dominant culture. This happened even in Jerusalem. Many of the elites took Greek names, like changing Joshua to Jason, and adopted Greek language and dress. A group of rich men founded a Greek-style gymnasium to educate their sons. Some even underwent a painful and risky operation to reverse their circumcision, their very symbol of their covenant with God. But out in the countryside, the Jewish people stuck with the old ways, despite the threat of persecution and even death. Finally, after many years, the spark of rebellion was struck by one man named Mattathias, an old priest in the village of Modin. He killed a Greek officer and pulled down the altar to Zeus, so they were in trouble now. Mattathias and his 5 sons, the Maccabees, fled to the hills and commenced a guerrilla war on the Antiochian puppet government. With courage and daring born of their zealotry, the Maccabees won the war and entered Jerusalem in triumph in 166 BCE. They immediately set out to cleanse and refurbish and rededicate the temple, which had been defiled by the Greeks. Here is where the miracle of Hanukkah begins. When the Maccabees set out to rededicate the temple, they found only enough sacred oil to relight the menorah for one night. And then the flame lasts all of the 8 days required to purify the temple. A miracle indeed. And that's where we tend to end our telling of this story. Except it doesn't end there. See, Hanukkah is a holiday filled with ironies and contradictions, just like every other tradition. As the Reverend Mueller again notes, some often forgotten facts for us, Hanukkah is the only one of the Jewish holidays based on contemporary records of a real historic event. It is also the one Jewish holiday not rooted in the Torah. The 2 books of the Maccabees are preserved only in Greek, not in Hebrew texts, and are not included in the Hebrew Bible, but only in the Apocrypha. And these books make no mention of the miracle of the oil. That comes later from a rabbinical telling. And to complicate matters further, in the generations following the rededication of the temple, the Maccabees themselves, who began as liberators, soon also became oppressors. For as the Rabbi Everett Gendler says, once mobilized, fanaticism is not easily checked. The dynasty of the Maccabees itself became Hellenized, that is, became Greek in culture, and took to persecuting the more conservative rabbis and their followers. Worse, they eventually even invited the Romans to come in and offer protection to their tiny little country, a move which ultimately was disastrous to the Jews, both culturally and religiously. Out of this confused and tumultuous history, which is greatly oversimplified here, I encourage you to research and read all of the details. Out of this confused and tumultuous history grew the celebration of Hanukkah, because it is another happy fact of human nature that people need celebration. People need holy days and rituals. Ritual is how we embody and preserve memory and hope. Hanukkah remembers the events surrounding the rededication of the temple and inspires hope in every generation. Because tangled as the Hanukkah story is, as most religious histories are, including our own, because you know, it's just hard to find a reliable hero in any era. Yet Hanukkah's miracle shines for us through the ages because that single small portion of holy oil, says the Rabbi Art Laskow, that single portion of oil symbolized the last irreducible minimum of spiritual light and creativity of the Jewish people that is still there, even in its worst moments of apathy and idolatry. The ability of that single portion of oil to stay lit for 8 days symbolized how, with God's help, that tiny amount could unfold into an infinite supply of spiritual wealth. And there's another thread of meaning that runs through Hanukkah. And that's this primal human response to the season of light. The season when the solstice brings the sun's return. As with other festivals of light, drawn from virtually every tradition this time of year, reasons for the seasons. It is no coincidence that Hanukkah too is celebrated in the darkest phase of the moon, in the darkest month of the year. Its menorah, a beacon of hope, its prayers, a plea for renewal, for light and warmth in all humankind. So sure, the story of Hanukkah grows from the real history of the Maccabees' military victory over a Greek king. But that's not the heart of it. Because you see, the point of the Hanukkah story is not its politics. And that's not the point of ours either. The point of Hanukkah is how through every age, every oppression, every suffering, every threat, every season of darkness, every eruption of hate, the human heart somehow finds a way to strike a spark to keep hope alive in the tiniest flames, in the darkest of times. Each candle a miracle. Each of us a miracle. We won't light our menorah this morning. This is our river grass menorah that's been with us for a very long time. I'm going to move this flag so you can see it against the wall a little bit easier. And our member Andrew is refurbishing it for us. It suffered from being in storage all this time. And Andrew will join me here to bless our menorah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu, b'mitzvotav, b'tzvivanu, lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah.
Praised are you, our God, ruler of the universe, who made us holy through your commandments and commanded us to kindle the Hanukkah lights.
Some of you know these prayers. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nitzim la'avotenu bayamim hahem baza hazeh.
Praised are you, our God, ruler of the universe, who performed wondrous deeds for our ancestors in those ancient days of this season.
In this season, we rejoice in the daring of hope with Hanukkah. We remember that each candle and each of us is a miracle shining through a world longing for light. May it be so. May we be so. And now let us make it so together in song. We're going to be singing, guess what? The Peter, Paul, and Mary classic, Light One Candle. Thank you, Andrew. You may rise in body or in spirit as you are so moved as we sing together, Light One Candle for the Maccabee children. Properly be Peter, Paul, and Mary. Please resume your seats while we explore all the ways that we can continue to not let the light go out in this world as we live our Unitarian Universalist faith through the events and activities to come.
As Ravaney said, at River of Grass, we offer so many ways to live our faith, put it into action. You'll find them in our weekly email. Everybody's reading their weekly email. Our Facebook page and on our website, riverofgrassuu.org. Here are some upcoming opportunities to fulfill our mission and vision. First of all, our children today are talking about the importance that we as Unitarian Universalists place on the experiences of mystery and wonder. They're exploring ways that we talk about God and listening to the story of Jesus' birth before moving on to a lighter subject, snowflakes. They'll have chalice snowflakes to show you later, which you can learn how to make next Sunday for our annual holiday gathering. So please, next Sunday, plan to extend your morning with a light lunch, crafts, music, and merrymaking.
So cute.
You are invited to the Florida UU Women's Retreat, a weekend gathering of UU women to explore the words and wisdom of our ancient female ancestors. And this will feature Shelley Graff, who will be leading us in singing in Sacred Circle. The cost is $238 per woman for 2 nights in a semi-private room which consists of 2 twin beds and a bathroom with a shower. And that also includes 6 meals. Registration received by December 15th will receive a $15 discount. There are several of our river women who are planning on attending. Please see Kathy Jens Rockow for more info or email her at womensgroup@riverofgrassuu.org. Our Full Moon Daughters Winter Solstice Party is this coming Saturday, December 16th. Celebrate the peace of the winter season during a fun evening together. The exact starting time and details will be announced next week. That would be a little late.
3 p.m. I'll just stand up.
Stand up.
3 p.m. at a neighbor's home in Western Plantation. And I will be coming around with a clipboard if any of you want to sign up today.
Very good. So what Diane said is that it will start at 3 p.m. at a home of a member in Western Plantation. She has a sign up here in the service, but if you would like to sign up and you're not here physically, please email fullmoondaughters@riverofgrassuu.org, correct? Okay, very good. The trans movie Disclosure is our Movies for Change December offering. Meet via Zoom this coming Wednesday at 7 p.m. And if you would like more information, please contact Steve Jens Rockow, who's here this morning, or you can email him at movies@riverofgrassuu.org. Lost and Found. We have both. First, for the found. A black Coleman folding chair was left behind at the Full Moon Daughters brunch, and also a green long-sleeve sweater. Both items are here in the hospitality area today, if you would like to claim them. And missing, a steel water bottle, dark blue, with an octopus print. If found, please see the aforementioned Diane Lake. We have a couple of more announcements. Next Sunday is our new member ceremony as part of the worship service. So if any of you have found your spiritual home here and want to formally become a member of River of Grass, please, it's not too late. Please email me at membership. Talk to me this morning, or email me at membership@riverofgrassuu.org to be part of the ceremony. And I have one more announcement, but I can't remember. Oh, so be on the lookout. Many of you have seen that we will be celebrating our 25th anniversary of River of Grass next February. We have a contest to design a specialized logo that will be used for all promotion related to the 25th anniversary. The deadline for submitting them is today. You can see details in the last couple of weekly emails. And next week, be watching your email because we'll have a vote, an anonymous vote, and all of us together will select which of the logos submitted we would like to use. So please keep an eye out on your email. I think that's it.
We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of community, not the fire of commitment, nor the light that calls us on. And you will find on our hospitality tables that we've got, in honor of Hanukkah, we've got dreidels for everyone and chocolate money. So pick up your dreidels and your Hanukkah gelt and celebrate the season of light.
I feel very guilty this morning.
You did not. We believe in forgiveness here. It is so good to be back home. It was great to be in Switzerland and experience winter wonderland while we were there. It was really awesome to walk in the woods and snow and be with our grandkids and go to all of their school events and be with family. Just as much time with family as possible. I am very happy to be wearing only one layer today. And most of all, glad to be back with you. As we depart this place, let us hold before our eyes the vision of a world transformed. Dare to transform ourselves to make it so. Till we meet again. Shine on.